Hello, and welcome to Think About It. It's been a while since actual real breaking news has taken place at either of the national conventions for the Republican or the Democratic Party, but leave it up to our friends on the left to add some drama to an otherwise snoozy fest in Charlotte. There was some suspense, because I was waiting on the edge of my seat to see whether or not God would win an election, a voice vote, as it were, to determine whether or not he gets to be a part of a political party's platform. You've seen it by now, most likely, but just in case you've missed some or forgotten some, let's take a little look at exactly what transpired as the Democrats sought to vote on whether or not to reinsert the mention of God into their official party platform.
Let me do that again. All of those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. I guess.
And then you've got to let them do what they're going to do.
I'll do that one more time. All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 have voted in the affirmative. The motion is adopted, and the platform has been amended as shown on the screen. Thank you very much.
Now that's the definition of a deer in the headlights. I haven't seen anybody look that spaced out and clueless since the last time Pelosi was asked a question other than, what's your favorite color? My real question, though, is a little more serious. I'd like to know how it is that the mere mention of the name of God was removed from their platform in the first place. After all, there are committees of people who have absolutely nothing else to do than to pore over every word, paragraph, and comma of the official party platform, what they stand for. And at some point, somebody decided we need to get that one tiny little mention of God-given abilities out of there. Frankly, I got to tell you, I don't blame them. Because if my party stood for the murder of innocent children all the way up to and including birth, if my party stood for the complete shattering of the definition of traditional marriage and were perfectly in favor of letting anybody marry anything, I'd be a little sheepish about including God tagged along to that as well. It almost makes it feel like he might judge us on something like that. Oh, or maybe he will. But I also find a little bit of humor in the entire thing because man's arrogance and hubris really reaches across the television screen in this one. Do you realize how incredibly odd it is, how incredibly misguided it is, to subject the sovereignty of God to a voice vote? Do you think in heaven he was nervous? Do you think he is wondering if he had passed out enough bumper stickers, buttons, and made enough campaign stops to win the favor of the liberal left, who are determining whether or not just for show purposes they want to have him attached to their platform? It's fantastic. I actually got a press release from him, and here's what it says, and I quote, "Why do the nations conspire and the people plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles." Here's my favorite verse. "The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them." My friends, it doesn't matter how the vote turned out. And I certainly agree that neither party has the political ownership rights to the name of God. But I wouldn't want to be associated with the one that purposely sought to distance myself from him. Is that really what you Democrats want? Is that really what you stand for? To get God as far away from us as possible because we don't want to recognize that there is any sort of a sovereign being who rules over all? I don't know about those of you who are kind of on the fence and maybe in that independent category, but I would have an awful hard time associating myself with that sort of a political platform. How reassuring it is to know that those words I read you come directly from Scripture, Psalm chapter 2. In that while all of us sit there shaking our heads and wondering what is going on in this world, the one who sits on the throne scoffs, because his work and his will is not impeded by the voice vote of a gathering of a bunch of idiots.